My name is Michael. I work as a front-end engineer at Marco Polo, and I love participating in hackathons. I participated in a number of international major hackathons, and I'll probably highlight some of the projects I worked on. One of them is Tractcha. It was an entry of Rails Rumble. It was featured by a number of media. It was fun. It was a nice tool to recognize songs playing in a video, like Shazam, but for big videos. And then Snapper, it's a relatively recent one. We made it into finals of TechCrunch Hackathon, and we presented to Snapchat CEO Evan Spiegel. It was a nice small app to engage your followers in Snapchat to meaningful discussions. And Oscar, it's a chatbot to kind of spread awareness on how much waste we're generating and how to recycle. We were selected to a short list of F8 Hackathon. It was a lot of fun doing these projects. And I have a track of many, many other not so very successful attempts. And I'd say most of my attempts participating in hackathons weren't hugely successful. Then you can probably ask a question, should you even try? And I can definitely say that yes, you should. There are a number of obvious benefits why you should do it. First of all, it is experience you get from it. You get to challenge yourself with something new in a different environment. Now, because of COVID, we have to stay home, but usually it's a highly social event. You get to go somewhere, meet a lot of people, and you get to work on something. Most of the time, you don't even know what you're will be working on in advance. And important thing here is most of the hackathons are run by, if we have a look at this chart, by private companies most of the time. And private companies, they provide APIs, they provide data, and usually it's a nice chance to play with something new, something you haven't worked before, some new interesting API that can boost up your project. Then, yeah, as I said before, hackathons are usually highly social events. You get to meet a lot of interesting people. It is a great way to boost your career. You can meet your next partner, your next coworker on this event. And while doing a hackathon, it's a very tense, very time-constrained, packed with emotions and tension thing to do, and people with whom you do it, usually it helps to make friends. All the people I did hackathons with are good friends of mine, even after the events, even years after the events. So it's a great way to spread your network, so to say. Then important thing, if your project will succeed, if you will get noticed, it's a good way to boost a real company from it. There's an example of many successful companies which are started as small hackathon projects, and now they are like major Silicon Valley companies. If your project will get noticed, even if you did not win, you still get enough attention to make a sustainable business out of it in the future. So this is another thing you should probably keep in mind. And prizes. Like, it shouldn't be the reason to do it. Usually, if you manage to make something meaningful, even if you're not selected as a winner, you still get some prizes. You get discount codes, you get like perks, swag from sponsors. You can stick to a sponsor and make something like looking at the sponsor. For instance, if you know that in the panel of jury, in the set of sponsors, there's some interesting company you really like, or you know how to work with their APIs, you can do something with their like based on their project and get attention from them and get some nice prizes. But it's definitely not the thing you should think about in the first place while you're participating in a hackathon. Well, okay, you decided to take part, and how do you prepare? Important thing that you should focus on your strengths, on your skills that you already have. Once again, it's a time-constrained event. You will not have time to learn from scratch. If you're a good web engineer, try to pick a project where you'll be working on something web-related. If you do mobile, concentrate on this. If you're a good pitcher, if you know how to present well, this is probably the thing you should concentrate on. Of course, there's also a room for improvisation, but knowing your strengths will help you to put all your energy into the right place, so to say. Then it is important to sharpen your sword. It is important to make sure beforehand that all your hardware, all your tools are in good shape, all your updates either installed or you silence them and they won't disturb you in the process. I saw many times how people were struggling running Xcode, and Xcode was trying to update and then install the additional components, and you had to waste time looking at the loading bar. You should do this beforehand. The night before you start, you should make sure all your hardware works, all your tool chain, all your node versions, or your favorite text editor is in good state. I even carry my external keyboard with me, like to be comfortable, to be sure that like the tool I will be using to build my project is the one I'm familiar with and really in good shape. You will have to build a team. You can do it on your own. Most of the hackathons I participated in, they all had a so-called like a solo track. You can do everything on your own, but most of the time hackathons are social events. So and it's more fun and it's more like effective to work in a team. You should split roles effectively. It can be 2 people, it can be like 10 people, but you have to define roles and stick to them. You should have an engineering part of the team. You should have a concept and research part of the team. This is also important. You should like it should be fun. Your hackathon projects should be enjoyable and entertaining, but it's important that it should base on some research, on some concept which is like built on top of some thought process. And if you will have a separate like dedicated part of the team which will do just that, it will be like a great way to do it. And pitching, as I said before, if you have a talent of presenting, if one of the team members of your team has talent of presenting an idea, usually hackathons are like 48 hours. All these 48 hours can be dedicated to preparing a good pitch. The more you do it, the more you make like test runs, prepare good slides, prepare a good demo, the better it will be once you will be on the stage. Then you start working. And while you're working on your project, it's important to have in mind that you need to make it work first and then make it good. You need to concentrate on building a prototype first of all. It doesn't have to be like fully featured. It doesn't have to like it doesn't even have to like be a real. For instance, if you building something machine learning related, it can be like you can fake the result. It should be a real app. It should be like written on a real code with a real code. It should be like it's a coding hackathon, right? But like everybody and jury as well, they understand that like it's almost impossible to train a good model in 48 hours, and you're not required to do it. You just have to show that like your idea is feasible, like it can be implemented, it can exist in form of software, so to say. So what is under the hood? it doesn't matter. No one will look usually if you'll get into finals, they will take a peek at your code, but no one will judge you for good or bad code. It can be messy even. It doesn't have to be messy like this messy. It can be messy like this messy. It can have some bugs, it can have some hacks, and you can script your demo to avoid these bugs from revealing themselves, and you can make it that you will just show that your idea is implementable and feel like can be made, but it really doesn't matter how it works under the hood. So proof of concept is enough. You just have to prove that it can be made. That's the main thing you should think about. Well, pitching. Once these 48 hours is over, you will have to do a pitch on the stage. And the best strategy to plan your pitch is to think about 4 main steps. First, you have to introduce the problem, define the problem, what the problem is. You have to make it clear that the problem really exists, that you're not solving something which isn't the problem after all. Then you have to introduce the solution briefly, high-level description of your solution, and a demo. You demo your project, and then you speak about future directions. As simple as that. You should be creative when you are doing this. Put all charisma that you have to your pitch. Make it fun, make it entertaining, but it should be not only fun, it should make a point. Most of the time, what matters is really an impact which your project will make, how it will change lives, how it will affect the industry it's in, how it really can make a difference. If you're making a point while making it fun, it's a perfect pitch, and it will highlight the best what you have in your idea and the project that you've made during the hackathon hours. Well, that's mostly it. You should concentrate on the process. I think this is the main advice I can share with you. It doesn't matter whether you will win or not, whether you will take the main prize or not. The most important is experience you're getting along the way, friends you're making, this mental exercise of coming up with new idea, building a prototype, presenting it well. This is the most important thing. Most important, have fun. This is probably the main thing you should think about while doing a hackathon. Well, that's basically it. I'll probably stop sharing my screen. I can't hear you, Bigimai.
Yeah, I was muted. Thank you for your presentation. It was really informative. I think a lot of people participate in hackathons, and was useful to know how to make most of it and take it seriously, I think. And maybe some comments we would show. I think it's from Ainura again.
Thanks, Ainura.
So thank you for the support, Ainura. And maybe you could share for, I don't know, I would be more interested about maybe some particular example of hackathon that you liked and you didn't like, because I feel like there are different hackathons and not they're evenly good or bad. So maybe you could share a bit about it.
I can say there's one company in Silicon Valley right now, which is called DevPost. it's a great company which specialized on like organizing hackathons, and they organize hackathons for Facebook, TechCrunch, and when they and they have a like online platform to hold hackathons, to make submission happen, to make thank you, to make all the judging process happen. And usually, like, it's probably the main source of looking for hackathons that are happening right now. And if they are in charge of making hackathon happen, it usually goes pretty smooth. I can say that the most recent hackathon I participated in, TechCrunch, was really, really well made. Like they made a big panel of a jury, a competent panel of jury. They made an awesome so to say prize fund. So it was everyone was really motivated to participate because there were a lot of prizes, a lot of benefits for the ones who were participating. And it was like, sorry,
I mean, how do you find those hackathons? Like, maybe there are some tips for our listeners how to find such hackathons.
Yeah, this DevPost resource, like, I think it is the main resource to find to look for hackathons. And they have like a feed of upcoming hackathons, and you can pick the one you prefer by category, by the company you adore. And I think most major Silicon Valley's companies, they use DevPost as a platform now. Because actually it's quite hard to, and Rails Rumble hackathon that we participated in, also I think they made, so it was Rails Rumble, then there was Node, I don't remember the exact name. So they made a lot of like web framework related hackathons, and they made from the like web apps they've made for them, they made also a platform for it.
Yeah,
I don't remember the name, but these are online hackathons. I think best of the best, and you can do it remotely. You can do it from any part of the world. DevPost usually specializes on hackathons you have to do in person. You have to physically be at the place. And by the way, most of the hackathons which are offline, the organizers of hackathon, they usually help you with anything they can for you to come to physically be there. So it's a good way. You can even like travel the world participating in hackathons, because they help with visas. They can help with, I don't know, with good advice, where to live. They can even like sponsor you if you're a student. If you don't have enough money to come, they can help you buy tickets. So it's a good way to even travel. And
that's inspiring, actually, because I feel like even me, I wasn't like considering hackathon as something serious, but now I'm curious to check the post. Cool. And I think that we are coming to the end of today's talks. Thank you for coming and presenting. It was really interesting.
Thank you.
And have a good rest of the weekend.
You too.
Thank you.